Okay. All right. I don't know if I've got this going right or not here, but I just wanted to come on here and talk about something that I think is really important. And uh, I want to talk about how easy it is to spread things that are not true based on genuine intentions to tell the truth or share something about someone. We do it all the time. We talk about friends, relatives, neighbors, but it's really easy to spread things that are untrue based on what is actually a projection of our own opinion or our own belief. And so I'm going to give you a very good, hopefully visual example. So I'm going to show you here, if I can show it. Okay. This is a little rainbow crystal pendant. Okay. So with this rainbow crystal pendant, you might see it around my neck and you would instantly think one of many things, and it's based on your perspective. So you could say, oh, it's a rainbow. It must be she supports the LGBTQA community. Or you could say she is of that community. Or you could say she's pretending to be of that community. You could say, oh, it's a crystal. She is part of a spiritual but not religious community. You could say she is pretending to be of that type of a community. You could say that this was given to me as a gift from someone. This is a memento. You could say, I stole this from your grandmother's jewelry box. Okay. Every one of those could be mentioned to someone else. Every one of those could be mentioned to someone else who mentions it to someone else who mentions it to someone else. And all of those are plausible, possible, but not one of them is going to be true unless you have asked me. And even if you bothered to ask me, the answer, whether you believed it or not, would depend on if you believed in me. So if I am someone you dislike for any reason, because I'm female, because I'm on YouTube, because I'm not 20, whatever reason, if you disliked me or found me untrustworthy for any reason, no matter what answer I gave you from my mouth, you would not believe me. If you believed me for any reason because you thought, wow, she does some great videos, or I really like how she speaks or how she talks, anything I say is plausible, then you might go, absolutely, the story you tell me must be true. So how do you know what is truth? How do you know what is true? If it depends on your belief, it depends on your projection of what you know or what's going on in your life or what your opinion is. How do you know what is true? And also, how much damage can you do to anyone if you are not the person living that? If you are not the person who actually has this pendant around your neck, should you say anything at all? Because if you do, you're only giving part of the story. You're only giving a story. You're giving a perspective, and you're giving only your perspective. And you have the potential to do great harm. You have potential to spread a story like lightning, especially nowadays on social media. You have the potential to send a story that may not be true. And how would you feel about that? Would you be glad? Would you be feeling malicious? malicious intent. If you didn't like me, you might be quite pleased with yourself. If it did me harm, say, got me arrested for stealing a rainbow pendant, if it did me harm, would you care? Would it be your responsibility because you mentioned that? Because it was just a thought, an opinion? So this is what I'm going to say is be really conscientious about what you believe or is your opinion to be true about anyone, anything, or any event. Unless you lived it yourself, you have no facts. Unless you're a witness, you have no facts. And even if you have the facts, you have your perspective and you have the other person's perspective. Here's another example that could be, so in a family, several people grow up together, siblings, and they all experience the same family event, same event. If you were to ask them 20 years later, their memory of that event, there might be some similarities. So that could be considered a truth because all of you experienced that. But as some of us, you may know, we'll experience things based on our location in the hierarchy of the family, based on how we are treated or how we treat others in the family, sometimes by our sex, sometimes by our age. There's going to be differences between the siblings in how they grew up, especially if there's large gaps, potentially, or difference in sex or different in school by the time they had experienced this event. So you could have some similarities, which would be true, but then you would have differences that are unique to the perspective of each sibling for the same event. So what does that tell you about what we believe is true about anything at all? It has to come from within. It has to be your perspective, your experience, your opinions, your beliefs, all your experiences that are all rolled into one from who you are. And that's the only thing you can talk with authority about. That is the only thing you can share with authority about. So that's all I wanted to say. I think it's important that we think about those things. And I want people to learn to say, instead of, oh, did you know about such and such? Or did you hear about this? Or it's a fact that this and this happened. Question everything, because you know from the moment you're out the gate that everything is a perspective. Everything, including what you say, including your own experiences. They are your. I hope you're all well, and I will come on with some more videos, hopefully, if the internet is cooperating. Thank you.